Hey boys, it's me, it's David, fat after 40. So, welcome back to the channel. Since my first video back in September, I've lost about 25 pounds. So, that's pretty cool. I started this thing when I was like 345 pounds, and now I am 323 pounds. That's pretty good considering considering that video was released in September 8th, and it is now November 3rd. That ain't bad. So, this video, though, isn't about weight loss. This video is about women. And only kinda, sorta. So, if you have been paying attention, I am a divorced dad in my 40s. So, my first video, there was still some hope that that wouldn't be the case. But it has been 2 months, and that hope has flown out the window. And you know what? It is what it is. So, I am now living by myself in a home that is way too big for one person, even a person of my size. The house feels empty. It is hard to wake up or even go to sleep without hearing the sounds of my children talking or playing video games or me being able to prepare them dinner or anything like that, because I really enjoy doing that. So now it is me by myself, kind of going through the motions. At first, depression got a hold of me. So, but I realized very quickly that I couldn't let that happen. I still talk to my boys every single day. I see them every day before school. And it is what it is. Thankfully, they only moved about 20 minutes away. So, and I could become one of those bitter men who blame women for everything, right? I could be that. So, but I have chosen not to. I have chosen to just take it as it is, chalk it up to experience, and just do the best I can in every aspect of my life. Am I looking to date anyone? No. I was joking a while ago that if my relationship with my kid's mother ever failed, if we ever parted and went our separate ways, I would join a monastery. That was a joke. I am nowhere near holy enough to join a monastery. As much as I love Christ and as much as I believe in the gospel, I feel that if I tried to enter a monastery, I would start burning like a vampire. I am not a holy man. I'm not particularly a sinful man. I try not to sin. I don't believe in fornication or sex outside of a relationship. But I do have thoughts. And sometimes these thoughts consume. So it is what it is. But here's the thing, right? Now, unless your partner cheated on you, right? Unless they cheated and went outside the relationship to fulfill some carnal lust, right? Sometimes relationships just end. Now, if they did cheat on you or you cheated on them, it's over, no matter what. There is no coming back from that, nor should there be. Cheating is the worst thing that anybody could do to anybody. It is a complete violation of trust. It is a complete violation of the pact that you made. Married or not, if you're in a long-term committed relationship, that is the same thing as cheating on your spouse, right? The pain is the same for the other person. That's another thing that I wanted to express. There is not much difference in this day and age than a divorce and a separation from a long-term relationship. And let's face it, where people are not getting married as often, people are staying in long-term relationships where they'll live together. They'll be married in every way other than under God or under the government, right? If you don't happen to believe in God. So, the pain is the same. Breakup is a breakup, a divorce is a divorce. So, divorce just gets more complicated with like legal stuff. So, there we go. But today, we're not going to focus on that. And, you know, if I was anybody else and I wanted to make a lot of money on YouTube or X or anything like that, I could make this entire channel about how bad women are. I don't believe that. But it's an easy way to get views. It's an easy way to make money. And it is what it is. But I'm not that, so I'm not going to do that because I don't believe it. Right? Women are women, and I'm enough of a libertarian to cringe, I know. But I'm enough of a libertarian where I treat individuals as individuals and not as part of a group. Right? So when you start treating people as part of a group, you walk a very dangerous line. Right? That's where misogyny comes in. That's where racism comes in. That's where prejudices come in. So you have to treat people like individuals because people are individuals. People have free choice and free will. And you can judge them for their own actions. You can judge them for what they've done, but you can't judge them for what someone else in their particular group did. Right? Because that's crazy. That is insane. And that, unfortunately, is a way to get views and money on social media. But I don't particularly want that. Will I take money? Yes. I think money is pretty good. Another maybe libertarian value, right? Only because of the good that can be done when you have enough money. Who makes the most impact in the world, right? The person who volunteers their time at a soup kitchen once a week for an hour or two? Or the person who helps set up soup kitchens and feeds people, right? Probably the person that sets up soup kitchens, right? Or the person who opens homeless shelters. Or the person who is able to donate money to get that done. They have a bigger impact on society and on the people in need than the person who volunteers once or twice a week. And I'm not saying that volunteering at one of those places isn't a good thing, because it most definitely is. But it has less impact as a whole than the person who can afford to set those places up. Money is not a bad thing. Money should be used for the good of society. Right? Now, a lot of people misread or misinterpret the scriptures to say that that money is the root of all evil. It's not. The love of money, the worship of money is the root of all evil. So, there we go. The worship of mammon is wrong and should be culled from the Christian community. Because right now we have mega pastors, whatever they're called, the pastors of mega churches, right? And televangelists and all those people who show off their wealth like no one else, right? Grant Cardone doesn't have anything on these people who's showing off their private jets or their Rolexes or their $2,000 suits, right? All while proclaiming that they are Christian and that they are humble. Meanwhile, they're raking in money and have like 4 mansions, okay? That's not Christian. That is mammonism. And they are priests of mammon. And they are leading people down a dark path. And that is one of my major concerns and arguments against prosperity gospel and progressive Christianity. Especially when you compare these people to the Desert Fathers or the Church Fathers or any of the saints. So, it is what it is. But, let's get into what the actual topic is, okay? And that topic is, while I open my Gridlock Sunrise Energy Drink, which is Aldi's version of Monster, I believe. Thank you, Aldi. Citrusy. Okay. B vitamins, huh? Caffeine from all sources, 155, so very light for an energy drink, about half of the newer ones, right? But it has 250% of niacin, 240% of vitamin B6, 490% of vitamin B12, and pantothenic acid, 400%. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is. I'm not a scientist. 10 calories for the can. We'll follow that up. With a little bit of that. So, here's the thing. And this is advice for men. Okay? Women, if you're watching this, which according to my YouTube analytics, ain't much of you, but if you're here, welcome. You can use this advice too. The first one is you have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize your own well-being above everyone else. It's like what they say when you get on a plane, right? And if the plane is crashing or the plane releases the oxygen masks, you put yours on first before you try to help anyone else. Because if you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. You can't help your children if you're dying, right? If you're not helping yourself out, if you're not prioritizing yourself and your needs, and I'm not talking about like carnal needs, I'm talking about having a place to live, having enough food to eat, having a car, right? Being able to get places, having a career. You're not going to be able to help anybody else, right? People will have to help you. So, focus on improving yourself first, and then you can help improve others or other things. Invest in physical and mental health. Now, this may seem weird coming from a guy who is 323 pounds as of this morning. It is. It is weird. And I wouldn't listen to me for fitness related stuff, honestly, until maybe I'm like 200 pounds. So 123 pounds to go on that one. But you have to invest in your own physical and mental health. And I know mental health is a big buzzword now, but it is true, right? So the easiest way of doing this is to establish a morning and night ritual, right? And I know that sounds weird. And I know a lot of other people say this too. And I thought it was complete BS, to be honest with you, until I started doing it, right? So, my morning routine is I'm up by 5 every day, right? Sometimes on the weekend I'll sleep in until 5:36. But I'm up at 5 every day. The first thing I do when I wake up is I make coffee. Then, after the coffee is consumed, or while consuming it, I'll write a page or two in a journal. And this is just flow of consciousness, right? It's just whatever comes to my mind. Sometimes it gets pretty dark, and I write my way out of it. And yeah. The third thing I do is I finish my coffee. Then I do about 30 to 40 kettlebell swings. Just I have a 30-pound kettlebell. I know it's not that much, but it is what it is, and it gets the heart rate going a little bit, right? Then, after I'm done with that, I start getting ready for work. That's it. And then on the commute, I will either listen to a podcast or an audiobook. So, just to get that brain function going before I reach the office. So, this way. So, for a night routine, mine is very simple, right? I plan out what the next day I'm going to do on Todoist, which is connected to my Notion. And then I take a shower, and then I go to bed. And I try to be in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. Do I fall asleep then? Sometimes no. But very, very simple. And these routines, as simple as they are, honestly, when I miss it, right? When I don't do something, my entire day feels off. And that just might be an addiction thing. I don't know. So there's other things you could do, like if you wanted to, you could go for a walk, right? I do this thing sometimes. I don't do it as often as I should, or as often as I used to, and that is something that I called a wisdom walk. And what a wisdom walk is, it's like 30 to 45 minutes of walking. Obvious enough, right? But this is walking with a purpose. And it's not to lose weight. It's not to become physically fit, because it's walking, right? You put in your earbuds or your headphones and you walk while listening to either a podcast, audiobook, or music with no vocals, right? So classical music works. Video game soundtracks, as silly as that sounds, work. Movie scores, things like that, right? Because when you're walking, you have blood pumping to your brain, and you become more creative. You become something that, you're able to think more clear. You're able to be more creative. So, if you're working on a big project or you have a lot of things going on at work, carve out 30 to 45 minutes just to go for a walk. And do that. It's called the wisdom walk. So, it is what it is. Maintain self-control, develop personal values, and avoid dependence on validation from relationships. You can't be in a relationship if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. that relationship, if you don't have that relationship with yourself, that relationship with another person is going to fail if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. I'm not saying anything like you gotta love yourself before you can love other people. We're human beings. We naturally love ourselves more than we can love anybody else. I mean, we are selfish creatures, right? By design. Maybe not by design, but by default. Okay. But you have to have self control. That's one thing. And self control, self discipline means not doing the things you know you shouldn't do. Right? Like, we all have those days where we just want to lie in bed and say screw it to any responsibilities that we have. Right? You see this especially in younger people, but older people face it too. Right? Where I could go to work, but expansion pack just released and I'm going to do that. Right? Or, wow, I'm lonely. Let's see what's on the old hub. No. Self-discipline. Self-control. The more that you can have that, the more that you can practice that, the stronger it will get. And the more it will benefit you. Now, personal values, these are important, and everyone should have their own core values. I know that a lot of companies have their core values usually up on a poster on the wall where they read it once or twice a week and ignore it the rest of the time. You need to have your own personal code of values, and you need to live up to them. So, what's important to you? Is it integrity? Is it faith? Is it loyalty? What is it? What are your values? Write them down. If you want, make a poster out of them. You can corporatize your life, that's fine. But live by them. Try to live up to them. No one's perfect. You're not going to hit them all the time. But do your best. So, seek meaningful relationships with mutual respect and care. Don't sacrifice your dreams or your financial goals for temporary validation. You should not be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. Do not seek out comfort from other people if you can't comfort yourself. Don't sacrifice your dreams and your goals to simply be with someone because it will make you slightly less lonely. Be wary of red flags in relationships. If you're starting to get in a relationship, or you're starting to date, or you're starting to talk to someone, watch out for the following. The other person complains about their ex and uses words like they were a narcissist, or they were abusive, or they display, disrespect towards their father or father figures, because honestly, after that relationship, you will be labeled the narcissist. You will be labeled the abusive one, even if you weren't, and you shouldn't be. But there are such a small percentage of people who are actually narcissists that the chances of someone dating one isn't very likely. But be wary, be careful if those words come up on a date, right? Or in a conversation. They shouldn't be dwelling on their ex anyway, because they're talking to you now. And it should be about the connection between you and them, not them and their ex. So, understand that women marry a lifestyle, not just the man. They're drawn to stability and value. So if you do want to get into a relationship, build yourself up before inviting someone else in. You should be at a point where you can take care of yourself and have some extra before you invite anybody else into your life. That's just damn good advice. Watch for consistency between words and actions in relationships. False promises or exaggerated affection can mask true intentions. There are people that just get into relationships simply because they are lonely. Because they want someone else to talk to, or someone else to be with, or someone to have sex with. And it doesn't matter if they truly respect or love this person. Those are the serial relationship havers, right? They bounce from relationship to relationship. They're never single, and each relationship ends the same by starting a new relationship. Avoid those people and avoid doing that yourself. There is nothing intrinsically wrong with being alone, especially if you're using that alone time to better yourself. Possess strong character, purpose, and direction in your life. You're not going to attract the right people in if you don't have that. If you have a weak character, you don't have a purpose in your life, and you don't have any direction, if you're still in your 40s and you're just drifting day to day, well, let's see what today brings us. You're not going to attract the right person in. You might attract someone in, but it's going to make your life harder, not easier, not better, harder. And you don't want that. So, here's what you got to do, right? Here's some actionable steps. Prioritize self-respect and boundaries. Set clear boundaries in relationships. Avoid over-investing in someone who doesn't show genuine commitment or respect. Make time for activities that enrich your well-being and allow you to recharge mentally and physically. So this could be prayer. This could be meditation if you're into that, right? This could be going for a walk. This could be working out in the gym. This could be reading, right? And not the mental masturbation reading, but reading with a purpose, right? There's nothing wrong with reading for mental masturbation, right? Fantasy novels, sci-fi novels, all that stuff, great entertainment, right? But I'm talking about reading for purpose, right? So, read with purpose. Read things that will bring something into your life. Look for nuggets that you can use to better your life. Easy peasy. So, read nonfiction, read memoirs, read biographies, read business books, right? Because you can find something good in those. So, continue developing your career, hobbies, and passions. High-value people, the people that you want to attract, are drawn to those who have purpose and are self-assured. If your hobby is video games, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Video games are fun. They're a great entertainment. They're a great way to be social if you don't happen to like being social in person. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So, but develop your career, chase what you're interested in, and that's it. And be self-confident in those things. There ain't nothing wrong with being a nerd, right? There ain't nothing wrong with being really into something. So, it is what it is. If you're dating, look for a partner who values building a life together, not someone seeking a free ride or support without contribution. This is important. Don't allow anybody into your life that's not going to further your own life or make your life better. So, that's one of the issues with hookup culture, right? Because relationships, dating, should be for the long term, right? You're finding someone in your life who's going to be there for you and with you, and you can be there for them for a long time. Shouldn't be just for a night. And I get it. Sex is fun. But it ain't that fun. You know what's more fun? Knowing how someone takes their coffee. Knowing how someone orders their Chipotle. That's fun. That's better than one night stands. That's better than friends with benefits. That's better than anything else. Knowing how someone takes their coffee. And then doing that every day for that person. Steer clear of relationships where you're seeking approval or validation. Your self-worth isn't dependent on another person's opinion. Don't need to even elaborate on that one. Embrace singlehood as an opportunity to refine your goals and invest in areas that give you long-term satisfaction. Work on yourself before even attempting or thinking about getting into a relationship. A relationship, again, will fail if you don't have this. You don't want to be a serial dater. You don't want to be a serial relationship haver. When dating, be cautious of partners who display anger issues, criticize past relationships excessively, or exhibit dependency. You should be able to do your own thing. You should be able to talk and communicate without someone's feelings getting hurt from just a conversation. Right? So, and being able to do your own thing is golden. Right? Here's the test of a true healthy relationship. Being able to sit in the same room together while doing your own thing and not complaining that you're not spending time with them. There's nothing wrong with doing your own thing, even in each other's company, unless what you're doing is like going on dating sites or looking at porn or something like that. So, there we go. Take time to observe behavior before committing. Protect your peace by stepping away from situations that compromise your well-being. We all know there are people out there who are not good for us, that are just unhealthy for us to be with. And that could be someone in your friend group, it could be a coworker, it could be a potential spouse. Stay away from them. Walk away. Then, cultivate small, meaningful rituals like a morning coffee routine, right? These practices reinforce a mindset of self-sufficiency and satisfaction. So, as simple as that is, establish, like I said before, itchy. Establish a routine, morning and night, where you do the same things every morning and you do the same thing every night. That's not boring. That's not being rigid. That is having your stuff together. So do that. It's okay. Engage in activities that bring genuine joy and relaxation without depending on anyone else to fulfill these needs. As nice as it is to have someone that can share what you're into, or that you can share with them. Being able to enjoy these things by yourself is what's truly important. So, there you have it. So, just a couple of recaps here before I let you go. And thank you for watching this all the way through. I really appreciate that. If you could, go ahead and give me a comment down in the section. Subscribe, all that jazz, right? You don't have to, but it would be nice. So, real value in relationships comes from mutual respect, not dependency or unrealistic expectations. Red flags are worth more than love letters. Recognize them early and save yourself from future heartache. Society's expectations can wait. Your self-worth and your goals come first. Never trade your peace of mind for a relationship that feels forced. Sometimes walking away is the most empowering decision. Build your life as though no one is coming to complete it. Everything else is a bonus. So, emphasize in your life independence. Have caution when getting into a new relationship. And always remember the importance of self-respect and continuous, never-ending self-improvement. Make yourself worthy of having a worthy relationship. Make yourself worthy of getting with Mrs. Right. Because if you don't, all you will attract is Mrs. Wrong. Once again, my name is David, and this is Fat After 40. I'll see you next time.